Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome Amiibo! Today, it's the morning and it's Sunday, so that means possibly turnips. If I do buy turnips, it'll only be like 3,000 of them, because we are running very, very low on storage space, and I'm gonna probably run into more things I want to keep. So, won't be a huge amount of turnips. We don't really have need for turnips anymore, so, like, I'm not really worried at all about that. Sky, why are you wearing that shirt? It's like T2, but sometimes a cup of coffee helps me wake up and face the day ahead. That is fair. I mean, it's just a thing I drink, so... I've had so many people be like, man, you need to drink water. It's like, I do drink water. Water that has gone over beans. That's how it works. I drink the bean juice. I know I've explained this before, and I feel weird when I say this, but like, it's mostly because I don't think I've ever run into anyone else who has this same thing kind of happen. When I drink something like coffee, juice, soda, anything that isn't just water, it definitely feels like it quenches my thirst, it makes me not thirsty, you know, everything works out. When I drink water, that don't happen. Like, I have tried over the years just being like, you know what, I'm gonna stop drinking coffee and I'm gonna get like a few bottles and just have water. Because, I mean, like, it would be convenient to not have to go upstairs every couple hours to get a new drink. Like, that would be pretty convenient. And then I'll be drinking at it and I'll be through like 2 to 3 liters of water before like the day's half done. And I'm still feeling thirsty. You know? So it's just like, it really isn't convenient, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, because I feel thirsty all the time. And I don't know why. And to anyone that's currently now thinking, man, you should probably, like, see a doctor about that. It's like, yeah, I probably should. But I'm in Canada. I don't feel like waiting for 8 hours to have a doctor be like, I don't know what that could be. I'd go home. Like, that's basically what it would turn into. Or very likely, waiting 8 hours to have the doctor go, I don't know what that means, but there's a specialist, like, a few hours away if you can drive, and I don't drive. So, no Joan. 110 bells. I will consider it. Do I want to buy at 110 bells? That's a price that could lead to some pretty good profits. It's also a price that could lead to some pretty, not terrible losses, but some losses pretty easily. I think I might skip turnips this week. Once we get to New Horizons, I'll probably be playing turnips a lot, because you need a lot of bells in that game. And you don't have the island to go to get expensive fish all the time. So, you know, it's definitely a lot more difficult to make bells in New Horizons. Well, I suppose, it's not more difficult to make bells, it's everything is just more expensive. So your bells mean less. Carlos! How's it going, my home slice bread slice? What can I do for you? Wanna chat? Yes, you know who's gets super busy when December starts? Jingle, that holiday reindeer. Around this time, Betty's trying to find what kind of presents we all want. What I really want from Jingle is something that's brown. Okay. Kurlos wants something brown. I need to... No, I already have Kurlos started. I do not. Wait, it's already down. So we got... The Curl Boy wants brown. Bam. So I know you guys can't see it, but I feel like I should mention this. I write so weirdly, and people tend to find it very fascinating. Because, like, I'm sure most of you... I think this is my right hand. Hold your pens or something like this. I'm a lefty. Like... For the longest time, I did do this. But, if you can imagine writing... It gets pretty messy. You don't have that issue like this. So if you know a lefty, and they're always complaining about their hands getting messy after they've been writing, try pointing them towards doing that. Because, like, it does keep your hands from getting messy. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's really not that different from holding the pen normally. Like, it might look really different, but, like, it's kind of not. You're more or less just moving what part of your hand you're holding it in kind of the same way. It's actually not that weird of a thing. I could imagine a righty probably having some difficulty with that, though. But I don't know, actually. I've just never seen someone right-handed that holds a pen like that. Probably because they don't need to. Lucky buggers. It's also why, like, when there's, like, a notebook with, like, the little metal spines on it, why I basically write in them backwards. Because, well, one, the paper is mirrored on both sides, so I still have the margin. I still have everything. It's just the holes are on the wrong side. Quote-unquote wrong side. But, like, it's so my hand isn't basically pressed against those little, you know, the little metal bits. Because that can hurt after a while. Sorry, Velma. I'll talk with you again in a second. Rooney really wants something. What's up, my man? I'm good. Oh, for the love of God, says it again. I mean, you do say it a lot. But it's not really annoying. It's kind of just you, Rooney. Yeah, keep riding that gahaha train. Alright. Velma. Can we talk? Ford. What do you do when there aren't any events coming up? Guess I could write some letters or go shopping or explore the outskirts of Sapphire. I've got to get on all those things. Now I'm super busy. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. See, that's why you should really just be like, okay, gonna write letters today, rest tomorrow. Explore the day after, rest again. Then you're not super busy. That's how it works. Bella! Let's chat. One of the things I love most about good old Sapphire are orange trees. Yeah, I can get you an orange. I'd love to know more what you want for Toy Day. Unless they only ever say just one thing. I don't know if they just say one thing. Here we got some bamboo. Okay, our orange trees are... Yeah, here's some oranges. Let's get these picked up. We still have a fossil around here somewhere. As opposed to B fossil. C fossil? Don't even get me started on D fossil. Nobody likes D fossil. I don't know what I'm on about. I blame it on I've not been awake terribly long, and I've only just started drinking my first cup of coffee, even though I have been awake for about an hour. That's because the coffee pot was still perking when I got up, so I was just like, oh, I'll just get some juice. So I was doing that. Also, I want to talk cooking again for a moment. Because just before I decided to start recording, I had saw a post. It's like, way yummy, I love it. So bring me just what I wanted, a paper wall lamp. Rooney does want a lamp. That feels like it'd be a pretty fancy lamp. I saw a post of, like, someone being like, oh, I guess I don't know what crispy bacon is, after they had posted a picture of what was very clearly burnt bacon, and people were kind of clowning on them for it, and it's like, but people in, like, the comments of this post were like, no, that's totally, it's like, no, that is burnt bacon. That is not bacon time. That is a bacon crime, what you have just done. Like, I really want to, like, understand the people who really like crispy bacon. Like, I want to understand you people. And I say this because most of the flavor of bacon comes from the fats in it. Making it crispy cooks the fats out of it. Where's the flavor? What have you done with it? Let's talk fuchsia. Thinking of bashing a design on a bagworm. What? Or basing a design. Yeah, bashing a design. It's not a super rare bug, but it has a really nice shape. I will see what I can do. I might get stung by a bee, because I'm just gonna shake some trees. Because they just come out of trees. I don't think I could catch one out of these trees. Money is just gone. Nope. Nope. Ah. You want to come back? Yay. How am I missing? Jesus. Got a bagworm. It was so nice of it to come back. Fuchsia! Alright. Like, there's definitely a point where you can have... you already got it from me, thanks to Cotton. They give you a little something for your trouble. Get a shirt. It's a beatnik shirt. Man, that's something I could have given to Rooney. For his birthday. But I didn't have one. I had one, but I didn't have one at that exact moment. Now I know I just saw you, Lobo. Where did you go? There you are. Yep. Nothing for the moment, because Pudge wants something. Want to try food so you can't get in Sapphire? No, you are not moving. Why do you all want to move? You are all staying. Now, Lobo. I don't know what you want for Toy Day. Talk to me. Really? So I gotta go back to Bella? Alright, I'll do it. If you don't want anything for Toy Day, it's on you, my man. I wonder if the things are always the same, just in case, like, a villager doesn't tell me stuff. Like, I get the feeling, based on some of the stuff they've said so far, like Kurlos and Brown, that they want their favorite color, and then, like, an object. So... That would be my guess, based on the information I have for now. Delivery time! Bam. Sir, my package wound up over at Lobo's house. What was I expecting again? I thought this package was lost forever, so I ordered it again. I don't need two. It's a shirt. I'll buy it, sure. There's your bells. Jingle them bells. It's December. But yeah, like, there's definitely a point where you can get bacon firm, but not, like, cook all the flavor out of it. And you can even get it mildly crispy without making it completely just flavorless. Oh, it was a scarecrow. Okay, well, I might have actually made some bells on that. Let's find Lobo again. Hopefully he's still right over here. Yep. Hey, man. Delivered it. Making that delivery. How did Bella look? Oh, she looked pretty good. I didn't remember leaving it. I didn't know. I would have kept it. That's kind of rude. Man, you're really trying to be the town villain and just end things off, aren't you? Like, jeez. But, like, much like with all cooking, like, there is definitely an art to doing it. And a lot of people just fall back on, like, what they're told instead of actually experimenting. Like, it's a case of, if someone has only ever had, you know, cooked to crap crispy bacon, and then they themselves, when they start, you know, making it themselves, do the same thing, I can't blame them for being like, man, I prefer this, because they've never had anything else, and they've never experimented. It's the same as why, like, as much as I do roll my eyes at people like this, why I don't, you know, really get at people for being like, oh man, a well-done steak, you'll be chewing that forever. It's like, not if it was cooked properly. If it was cooked properly, it'll be just as tender and probably juicier than your, you know, rare steak. Because that's the thing, like, you have to know what you're doing. And this isn't a shot at, like, restaurant chefs who, like, primarily cook, you know, rare steaks, and when they are asked to do a well-done one, it does end up being very tough and chewy. There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is they can't really take the time to properly cook a steak when their temps are already all over the place and way too high. How you properly cook a steak is on a generally medium to medium-low heat for a decent amount of time, basting it as you go. Like, you'll end up with a very, very well done, very tasty steak. Like, that, you know, unlike a rare steak, which is generally absolutely burnt to crap on the outside and raw in the middle, you have a consistent texture and consistent flavor through the entire thing. Like, now the chefs I will give crap are the ones that, even though they can take the time to slow down and cook a steak properly, still throw around that misinformation. Those are just chefs that don't know how to cook a steak. They just don't know how to do it. You know, it's the same with basically any food, cooking it. Like, there are definitely wrong ways to do it. And those wrong ways might still end up making something edible. That doesn't mean it was the right way to do it. You know, No, I don't want to become a clown. He's so close to being like Jingle Pants. Nah. You know, it has been a little while since I changed my shirt. I'm gonna wear the office shirt. Or work shirt. I'll take it. Bam. Like, trying to think through some other examples here. Like, I'm trying to think through other common examples of people messing up food, but it's almost always with meat that they mess things up. Namely because when they're doing other things, they actually tend to, like, follow directions. Okay, there is a pine tree here. Let's sell a shirt and buy the pine tree. Because shirts aren't worth much, so... Let's sell the beatnik. 84 bells? It's fine by me. We'd only get like 100 at retail, so... I'll take it. Well, here's the thing people do tend to mess up. Basically making a cake and either not putting enough liquid or enough flour into it. But it still ends up being kind of alright, even though it'll end up being, like, incredibly dense or dry. Because, like, it is pretty hard to make a bad-tasting cake, because most of the flavor of the cake generally comes from, well... Oh, right, I can't... Hold on. Most of the flavor of the cake comes from, like, icing. So, like, if your frosting's good, then the cake will still be alright. That doesn't mean they made the cake good. That doesn't mean they made it well. Another thing people do is overcook cookies. They will overbake them. And, like, I've even seen this out of, like, restaurants where, like, they do a dessert that's like a cookie and they overbake it. Like... Wait, no, I want to hang on to that. Like, it happens. Like, and that just comes down to people generally, especially in, like, a restaurant setting. They'll start something and then they can't leave what they're doing, so something else gets overcooked. You know, and it won't be by a huge amount. They'll still be edible. They'll still taste alright. But that doesn't make it right. Like a lot of dessert treats, people will very much overcook them a lot of the time. Because, well, they just simply get distracted doing something else. And then they end up overcooking it. Now, some things are pretty alright when they get overcooked and burnt. Cheese, for some reason, tastes pretty alright burnt. It still tastes better not burnt, but it tastes pretty alright burnt. Doesn't mean burning it is what you should be doing. You're probably noticing a trend. Like, it's just one of those things of that will always annoy me when you see, like, big chefs being like, nah, this is how you do it. And then they show you how to cook something incorrectly, and then people start parroting that, being like, yeah, this is right, because such and such a big chef said so. It's like, yeah, they're not always right. And, like, that's another thing that people really just seem to, like, misconstrue a lot of the time. They'll be like, oh, but, you know, like, Gordon Ramsay has restaurants everywhere and multiple Michelin stars. It's like, yeah, but he's not the chef at all of these restaurants. It's his menu, maybe. He's very much a proponent of his head chef making their own menu. So, most of the time, nah, it's probably not even his menu. He just owns the building. Like, and nothing against Mr. Ramsay. He's a pretty good chef. He ought to be. He's been doing it long enough. But that doesn't make him right about absolutely everything. I mean, even I could, you know, am not right about absolutely everything. And when it comes to something like, you know, the example of before of, like, steaks, one could argue a lot of that is just personal preference. Because, like, I'm sure there are some people who would argue up and down until the end of time that, you know, you can never make a good, well-done steak. They'll always be bad. The one that always annoys me is seeing, like, chefs at restaurants be like, oh, if someone orders a well-done steak, I purposely use a bad cut of meat because they're making me waste it. It's like, no, they're putting trust that you know how to cook it properly, and you're proving that that trust was misplaced with your actions. Like, you're also very much setting yourself up for, potentially, a lawsuit. If the customer were to find out that you purposefully gave them lower quality food just because of what exactly they ordered, I imagine you could probably get sued over that. Like, and it's also very much a case of course these chefs don't think a well-done steak could be good if they're purposefully using bad, you know, steaks to make them. Like, yeah, it's gonna be worse. You used an inferior product. Well done. But I want the lamp. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Velma. I need to save this lamp. I mean, I don't need to. I could buy another one, but I don't want to buy. I don't want to buy one. I got this one for free. I'm gonna put it in storage so I can't have an animal be like that again, because I feel really bad now. But, like, it's just one of those things where it kind of drives me crazy seeing posts from supposed chefs being like, no, I'm never gonna do this, or like, oh, I'm gonna purposefully use inferior product. It's like, quite honestly, if I were to go to a restaurant and order a steak, which I don't know why I would do, because I already know they're not going to be able to cook it properly. And I don't blame them for this. It's just how a restaurant works. But if I were to go to a steak and order, you know, one, and it turns out, you know, middling quality, I'm just never going back. And I'm going to tell everybody that will listen that, yeah, it's not a very good restaurant. Like, as you should. If you have a subpar experience at a restaurant, you should let others know that, hey, I had a subpar experience at this restaurant. Like, Especially because going in, I wouldn't be expecting much out of a well-done steak from a restaurant. So if it was even worse than what I was expecting with my low bar of expectations, oh yeah, that's a terrible restaurant. No one should eat there. You know. And word-of-mouth marketing is very important to restaurants. If they burn their goodwill with their community, then that's kind of just it for them. That is not where I wanted that to go. I kind of wanted it right here. Bam. And, like... Heck, if you've ever watched, like, Kitchen Nightmares, you've probably seen multiple instances of restaurant burns their goodwill with their community, and even though their products aren't the worst, they're not great, but they're not the worst, the restaurant's failing because no one wants to go to this restaurant that burned all of its goodwill. One chat. Living alone can get, well, kinda lonely. It's great to have such friendly neighbors. Aww. I want to know what else you want for Toy Day. Can't beat curling up under the blanket with a good book. Good book and a cup of cocoa. It's a match made in heaven. That is fair. But yeah, like... I've gone on such a long rant. I am fully aware of this. It just really bugs me. Seeing people be so confidently, like... I don't want to say confidently wrong, but so confidently... opinionated against things that they've probably just never experienced. Like, I can even tie this into gaming, because I'm sure any of you guys have probably experienced this from somebody you know, where you'll try talking to them about, say, Animal Crossing, and their basic response is, man, that game's garbage. It's like, oh, have you played it? No, why would I? You know, like, you've probably experienced that. Which is also anytime I make my preference around Battle Royale games known, I always have to preference it by saying I haven't played them because they don't appeal to me. Like, clearly games like Fortnite have to be pretty good or else they wouldn't have a player base. But the Battle Royale genre just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like the randomness. Like, if you're gonna put me into a skill-based shooter, and then say, right, but all the weapons are randomly scattered. Well, that takes a lot of the skill out of it now, doesn't it? If in your skill-based shooter, that low-skill player could find the best gun, or just find a spray-and-pray gun that basically has a pretty good chance of lucking them into a win. Like, that takes a lot of the skill out of it. It also makes the game a lot more frustrating, because now you're open for situations of, man, I could have won if only I had found, like, a good weapon, but all I found was this garbage. Unless every weapon is equally as good as every other weapon, in which case, you lose all reason to explore. Like, you know, I also, when it comes to Fortnite specifically, don't like the idea of playing a shooter where you shoot at somebody and then they become a house. Like, I don't want to fire my weapon at somebody and then watch them turn into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath family home, you know. Man, Lobo, you really care about this lately. I'm gonna stay right in the middle. I mean, yeah, Maybe you shouldn't have been such a jerk lately. Then maybe I'd be a bit kinder to you. Let's do a Gulliver check. Like, I used to be that kind of person, too, where I'd just be like, man, that looks like garbage. Like, well, have you played it? No. So, well, how you know? You know, I used to be the person saying that that looks like garbage. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, I want to experience that first. And then I want to experience that at its best. Because it's not really fair to just judge something off of purely appearance. I mean, like, there's been a lot of times where basically I've been sitting bored and just started browsing for various games on old consoles, and then came across, you know, games that younger me would have went, ugh, why would I play that? And then I play it, and it's actually kind of fun. Like, a lot of, like, the Mickey Mouse games, funnily enough, tend to actually be pretty fun. Winnie the Pooh games as well. Like, you might be noticing a trend. I've been poking a lot of, like, younger games just to see what those games are kind of like, because I was always under the impression that a lot of those games were just kind of bad. Because that's what I was always told when I was growing up. Like, oh, those games are just bad. But then I think back and I'm like, but no, the SpongeBob games I played were pretty fun. Like, I could swear I was already through here and cleaned up flowers. Squints. I blame Lobo. Like, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom was a lot of fun. I never beat the game, because I'm bad at platformers. But it was a lot of fun. SpongeBob Lights, Camera, Pants was also a ton of fun. The best way I can describe that one is Mario Party, kind of, but with a SpongeBob skin. It's a lot of fun. But, like, I'm sure there's people out there that would be like, man, those games, they're dumb, they're for kids, they're probably horrible. It's like, well, have you ever actually played them? Because I have, and they're a lot of fun. Like, let's do our ceremony before I get suggested another project that I then have to come wait through the ceremony to then do. I was considering ending the episode, and I remembered this, so. Hello, Isabel. Yeah, I'm the one that made it all possible, including funding the entire thing the moment I placed it down. Let's head to the ceremony. It's really convenient how she set it up to happen exactly at 11:28 a.m. on today. Hello everyone, welcome to the grand completion ceremony for Sapphire's Vital Hot Spring Project. Thank you for joining us for this momentous occasion. Isabel and I'll be your host today. Yay! Thank you, you're too kind. We're gonna keep this short and sweet, let's jump right in. We'll have a short speech from our very own mayor. We did it! Well said, Mayor. You've put away with words. Okay, moving on. So take the item we passed earlier and get ready. Celebrate the completion of this public source project and all the hard work that made this possible. Ready, set, pop, pop. Yeah! Concludes our ceremony. Thanks everyone for all your hard work and for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Yeah! Rooney, don't... How dare you? Would you like better? Spaghetti or good old-fashioned mac and cheese? I like mac and cheese. Though spaghetti is mac and cheese. Just with a, like, it's just macaroni and cheese with sauce. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's still, how dare you? Trying to clean up the paths, not make them worse. Planted. Okay, I think that will be it for today, though. Because I have been going for like 40 minutes, and have more or less just been rambling about food this whole time. I'm not even hungry. That's the funny thing. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. See you all then. And now in this end card, I'd like to ask, if you liked the video, could you hit the like button? And hey, if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? Ring the bell maybe? It would help me a lot. Thanks a bunch.